So the blue monkey, it's a very interesting archetype because at the same time that he represents magic meaning manifesting a reality, he also represents the illusion of reality, which is a paradox because it's reality, but at the same time is illusion. And this playfulness with the whole spectrum of manifesting a reality and knowing that there is no absolute truth on that reality because it keeps changing all the time. It's one of the principles of the universe is constant movement. So this is what the archetype of the monkey teaches us, and this constant movement through the veils of illusion and manifesting magic. And it's under the tone, the number vibration, number 9, which is activation of that archetype. All of that on the Mayan calendar. I see it as navigation controls of a cosmic spaceship
Mhm.
that we're all navigating through. And the Mayans actually consider us all to be surfers of the Zuvuya, and Zuvuya meaning time, but time in terms of creation. So we're all surfing the waves of creation. Another thing that I would like to address, it's that we're all going we're all navigating through this big wave of change here on this planet we incarnated, and it's been very shaky. It's shaking kind of shaking every time harder, or I would say stronger shakes, testing our stability, our inner stability, our inner balance, testing how much we learned and how much we actually do with what we learned. Because one thing is to actually have an intellectual concept of the learning, and another thing is to what we do with that in terms of reacting or manifesting, or how do we feel during this navigation, during this movement, during the shakes, and how do we deal with all of these bumps that our spaceship he's going through. I'll
Well,
pass.
when you say all those things, I see plenty of colors and the waves and vibrations of the change, the constant change. Um, and then the fluctuation between illusion and truth always changing, truth always having a consciousness, like truth being conscious. And the first thing that comes to me when I look at or face all of these bumps, waves, frequencies, changes, is like that navigation, the surfing has to do a lot with the breath. Like the first place that I go to when I'm in that current is, where is my breath? And through my breath, I can identify my body, and through my body, I can identify my direction, my momentum, my shift, if you will. And even just with that magic, with that using illusion to manifest magic, and I can also access from that center point, from a stillness of breath and presence, like a very deep presence, that even though everything's moving around, there's still this silent navigator inside that can see, like that monkey can see all of the portals, can see all the different doorways, thresholds, directions that we could go through or in or around.
That's very interesting. When you were talking about that, I saw the monkey actually navigating, uh, uh, navigating, more like taking control of the different buttons of the ship, move, moving pieces, and being so fast that it's almost unnoticeable what he's doing. I mean, you see him moving and changing pieces, but so fast that you don't know exactly what he's moving. I don't know how to say that. That's what I seen.
That's really very fast. Yeah, and I could see the monkey doing something similar, and it's almost like a holographic reality in that sense. And it's almost like those portals and those moving the realities and switching them around, just ahead of us in a way. And I can see this whole other wave of light that spreads out through all of the waves, and so there's so many waves engaging and moving around, yet there's these strands of light that kind of dance through this grid, or this like holographic, it's the only word I can come up with. But I also see like geometric shapes now as well as we're going through this. And with breath, it's like I can control my own momentum and direction to follow the most luminous path that I can see, and all of it is just moving so fast. You also have to be able to bend. I think maybe that's part of that monkey magic too, is to bend time and to bend space so that you can slow it down, and even just with breath, you can slow it right down and you can speed it right up, and you can kind of alternate between different time frames. I don't know what else to call those, different realities or portals of existence. Reminds me a little bit of the quantum energy field, but that feels younger than whatever this is. Same thing.
I've seen his tail turn into a coil like that. Uh, his tail, it's what does the spiral movement of all of that energy that he's playing with, almost like it sustains everything on that spiral, like it's moving with hands and feet things, but the tail, it's on a spiral, and
Mm-hmm.
it's balancing or
Which again makes me feel my spine and feeling that spiral inside of my own spine, which is like a tail, an extension of your spine, you know, okay.
mm-hmm.
Let like the blue light spiral through your spine. And it's
Yeah,
easier to follow. It's
that
easier to
turned into, when we are born, actually we are almost like a spiral, because before we're born, when we are in a fetus position, it's that coil.
It's also an opportunity to design magic in our own realities instead of feeling like we need to be stuck in a specific reality or forced to make a decision that we don't want to make. And that there's an infinite amount of choices that or directions that you could go in.
What came to me now was his face very close, and his face showing the that despite his power of moving all of this energy and keeping that spiral going, he is humble, humble, and is capable of enjoying every moment of his work in a playful way and
Yeah,
humble.
it really comes through, like you can see him kind of jump through time almost backwards, you know, with his hands behind his head, just floating, laughing, and using his feet behind him to move things. There's all these different positions and ways that we can navigate when we move into ease and playfulness in navigating the realities and constructing new magics or deconstructing illusions or moving through whatever we need to. When we bring that playfulness in, it also brings in an ease and brings clarity to the path.
Multitasking too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's fun to multitask.
Yeah, he holds into different realities, but at the same time he's got no attachments, because at the same he can just jump from that to another branch.
That no attachment piece will be important to remember for many people as the changes just get larger and larger changes.
That's probably one of the very important things for this vision, because we're all going through deep changes, not only in internal but external as well, and we need to work the detachment.
Yeah, to cut the current reality and design a new one and feel like be creative and allow the creative energies to move together.
We're like moving, we have this planned move from one house to another, but we still have everything packed in the old house, and it feels like a mess. And the new house, it's receiving the objects, but it's still not organized. So we're in between, more in the old house yet with all the things packed that you don't know where they are, and it feels confusing and disorganized, and at the same time in a limbo because we're ready to move to a new house.
You could decide really when you're in the new house what comes in the door and what doesn't, what you letting go of, any attachments that you need to let go of on your belongings,
That is a
and what can,
great opportunity.
yeah, yeah, great opportunity.
To leave behind, do a big garage sale. A big garage sale of all of our old patterns.
And even energetically, just breathing into that, just breathing into old patterns that we might feel attached to. We maybe didn't even know they were patterns until we changed. Like maybe it was a comfort or a structure you didn't even know was there, and which was part of the illusion. And then when you move, you can see it for what it was, even if you never saw it before. So it's also an opportunity to like have really profound realizations of illusions that we've held in place, not knowing that we've been holding them in place. And when I link into that, it feels like navigating. Like if I'm navigating, it feels like I kind of go underwater in that one. You know, there's a dip into like the subconscious energy and possibly even the collective, the subconscious collective. And how, you know, part of this path is also trying to raise the awareness of that subconscious energy, subconscious, the mass. And so we reveal those hidden attachments and let those go too, then we can lift the wave a little bit higher. We can deconstruct the secret illusion even more.
Came to me now the importance of being strong towards the process, because we get tempted all the time to, like, the external forces that don't want to change, they act against the current from the changing wave, and we get tempted all the time to fall back into the old patterns. So strength, it's very important.
And then I see too, when you say that, I can see, like, imagine that falling back feeling where you kind of feel that vacuum or that something's going in the opposite direction and you want to go and pushing you backwards. And then just before you completely go all the way, there's this moment of when you're at an angle. And then I feel the monkey again. And then that monkey comes up and is like, you don't have to go out. You can catch yourself before you go all the way and open a whole other, like, all these other doorways off the side, which are like kind of like escape pods in your spaceship, these little escape pods. And you can just dial out of the falling back as you're falling back. So you can even use the momentum of falling back to deconstruct yourself in that moment before you completely fall back. and dissolve into all these different particles, or I don't know, it's like that whole ship falls apart, but then goes through all these other portals and scoops back around, kind of like a manta ray shape, and then goes forward once again. And then I see it looks like a bunch of tiles of color that flip around. And so it's also, it gives us an ability to use the momentum of the old pattern to redirect the energy flow to help us break out of a structured way of moving forward, and breaks the pattern of that, like that neural pathway or that pattern that we always had in place. And so even in the act of falling back, we can split or dissolve into all these different realities and reformulate on another, like in the change, in the different wave, in a whole other wave.
Very interesting how the monkey represents this change, because it, like you were saying, I saw the his tail attached to one branch while he's actually jumping with his hands to catch another one, the next one, but he's still holding with that spiral on the old one until he's totally secure on the next one, and then he releases the spiral.
Yes, there's also leaps of faith too, when you have a bigger jump.
Loops of fate.
Leaps, leaps, leaps of faith where you can't, the next branch is farther away, and you can't be attached to one as you move to the other. So that bigger trust, the bigger jump to really just almost like propel yourself forward onto that other branch, facing what might feel like an impossible energy or a distance too far, but just fully believing that it's just right there, because you can bend time and space, and it's just an illusion that it's far away, and you can just make the leap and you're already there.
There is the part of the monkey about the illusion of being far away, but he plays with it and has fun and swings and goes. He's not attached in the mental, um, in the mind, in the duality of the mind. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? He just plays and goes.
But then also the magic of that reality being already there. And then also, kind of giving us instant access to a change that we see coming, but is already here at the same time. We just have to access it or open it or trust that it's there. Manifesting our reality. And now because of that, when you trust that it's already there, and I see a picture of the monkey just sitting, not moving at all, just sitting in a chair, smiling and eating a bunch of food. Because he doesn't have to go anywhere or do anything, because everything is already happening all at the same time. So there's also this illusion that you have to do things to change things. And you just allow that spiraling energy to take its course, then those things are happening already and anyways. And then we just kind of coast through it and trust our own navigation.
And have joy with it.
Yeah. joy.
Joy is a big thing here on the monkey. It's joyful to navigate, joyful to jump, joyful to play.
Yeah, and pleasurable to also to rest and eat food. There's a lot of pleasure in the joy too. Like it's all pleasure. It's redefining work for pleasure. It's
Mm-hmm.
work for fun. It's work for playfulness. And it really takes that fear edge off when you approach that change. If you approach that change with the playfulness and pleasure, it takes the fear down and the anxiety and the stress and the chaos is just easy. Playfulness makes it easier. And then I draw back to my breath again, which is the physical embodiment, you know, and how will we manifest this ease and this joy in these changes in our own body and our own physical navigation in the earth dimension. And then I see that blue spiral energy too back in the spine, just like feeling that monkey tail in my own spine.
I'm seeing like a DNA shape spiral, but it's rainbow, like it's got all the colors together and it's swirling in from the crown chakra down to the body.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then all the visioning that we did kind of going out into space is like turning inwards, and it's like navigating your inner world, navigating inside of your own body, making changes in the health and moving through your tissues and your organs, creating new realities inside of your body. Also, where we store memories and tension or trauma or like any cellular memories, we can bring that navigation, that energy, and that monkey energy right into those places and flip the tiles inside of our body and generate a whole new reality inside the body around health and physical well-being. And maybe even facing challenges like cancer or like deep illness with that type of levity and playfulness that a monkey can have. Yet there's still that humbleness present when meeting a thicker illness.
The monkey also uses of tension only when necessary, but he doesn't attach to the tension. Tension meaning like stress, stagnation, struggle.
And so he can teach us to let go of our internal stress, our bodily stress, or our bodily illnesses in a whole other way. It's another teaching of the non-attachment in the reality of the physical form. And when I breathe into that, it feels like my kidneys are becoming different kidneys. If you can just change the frequencies inside of your organs just like that. Breathe that energy into the spiraling energy through the spine and then send it through the body and reshape the reality of your organs and your tissues. That brings back memories of shape-shifting in the old days. We did it physically and more often. that awakens those memories from this moment.
That was a very intense vision with traveling with the monkey.
Yes.
Very pleasant too. I loved it. Mm. That's the
I
first
love
time
it.
I navigate so deep into the monkey archetype.
Mm,
Now I have a different level of appreciation for the monkey right now.
thanks for sharing that journey with me, Miriam.
Thank you too. We both tuned into it. So I think the one of the things in conclusion is to have fun and joy with this process and have no attachment. Flow with the flow.